You're listening to Style as Identity.
Yes, we're your hosts. I'm Frankie Ikwuazom.
And I'm Lola Catero. So, is starting a brand on your vision board?
Or do you just love fashion and want us to talk nerdy to you?
Either way, we got you.
Join us as we get into aspects of the trade that you might not find online. We're uncovering truths from the founders and designers daring to build within their vision and values.
These brands, they're shifting our understanding of the style status quo. And the more time we spend with them, the more we expect from what we wear and the brands that sell them.
So, we're glad you're here.
Let's do this. Oh my God, welcome. Okay, you're here because brand name for them is rooted in innovation and doing things like differently than anyone has ever seen to serve the queer community. Your patented products like the binder all day, Jockless strap made by Innovated, founded by you, Em, and the community, of course. We want to say first and foremost, thank you, because you provide people like us with actually affirming options, and not just product-wise. You're not just clothing. You have media, you have content, you help us be who we are holistically. So let's get into it. We want to hear more.
Hello.
Hi. And hi, Em.
Hi.
It's so good to see you, Em.
It's very, very good to be here.
Who are you, Em Chadwick?
Who am I, Em Chadwick? So my name's Em. I'm CMO for them. I am British. Recently moved to New York to join the For Them team, which is very exciting. If you don't know us, we are a queer product and media company serving the community in every single way is our intention and our mission. We have a line of utility products that we've developed to serve queer needs specifically. And we have a publication, Autostraddle, all wrapped within one membership, providing day-to-day love, queer joy. That's the plan.
Hell
yeah.
My background is in bootstrap startups. I've always been entrepreneurial. I started with an events company, which was like a sort of hybrid of a performance agency and immersive production company. So we would do pop-up experiences. And it was actually, relative to this topic, it was all about like creating atmosphere and experience through body adornment, costume, art. So I feel like so often the layers you put on top of yourself can like transcend an experience you're having in real life, and specifically in music festivals, which is where I was working a lot of the time. This idea that you put on this mask, you put on this costume, and it enables you to step into a different version of yourself and have this geographically contained new experience of yourself and others. So I feel pretty strongly about that. Playing costume. So that was my background. Started that. It's like very chaotic working in events. And I think, as is such often the way with founders or sort of like business owners, it's so inextricably, the brand becomes so inextricably linked with your personality and your sense of self. Mm-hmm. It's an extension of you. Mm-hmm. And that was really cool for a while. But then I realized I needed to separate, individuate, and that's when I went chronically offline, because I used to be chronically online.
I used to be chronically online.
And what were some of your like self cues that told you it was time to stop? Like for me, I find when I start to get angry at little things, and then I finally realize like, oh, it's not that thing or that person or that colleague, it's me.
Yeah.
And that's when I've been like realizing it's time to stop something or pivot.
I think I'm a excited person to my core. So for me, and this is like so informed by the pattern, I don't know if you're into this, and human design.
Very
me and my
it.
Freaky witchy little apps.
What
so
are
many
you
of them.
into?
Like all these witchy apps that just tell you everything about yourself.
Oh.
They're like Astro ++, you know?
Yes.
But as according to my human design, excitement is my fuel. So like for me, if I'm not excited about something anymore, if I'm not dreaming about it, if I'm not thinking about it in the shower, it's over.
It's over.
Yeah.
Doomsday.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you and Kylo, when you do something, it becomes inextricable from your... I feel like Aquila in the bee right now. From your from your identity. So how does that work with For Them? Because like you put your heart and soul into something, you've sold these other things, so this is like part of you right now at like this phase of life. And then you work with Kylo, who's the founder. So like how is it? Do you both feel like it's part of your identities? Like what's that balance look like?
Yeah, you're right. There's me like, yeah, I stopped having a business that was inextricably linked to my personality. And then I'm like, oh, and then just jumped straight into the most identity-driven brand ever. Well, I guess that I was the first employee. So, and I think going from that, it'd always been bootstrapped before. So it was the events company, a bakery, a fashion product. I'd done a bunch of stuff, but it was at a smaller scale. So coming across to this, being first employee and being, I guess, in a team, because I was always a sort of one-woman army.
Yeah. Which is also just such a baddie move.
No, it's a lonely move, isn't it? It's great. And I feel like that's the reason why I wanted to do it so much, because it spoke to my soul and it spoke to things that I look out in the world and really feel myself. I mean, I'm a queer woman. I have long analyzed, lamented, worked on all the things that we for them are trying to like serve the community with. So it just felt like something that I could really feel. So yeah, it's incredibly linked to identity and my inner self. And there's something like very rewarding about being able to do something that offers so much back to me in return. And it captivates me in that way because I care so much about our fam. So every day, even when it's shit, you know, it's like, it's easy to just keep going because it must exist. I feel very passionately that it really must.
Yes.
Yeah. And
we feel the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, when are they going to be back in stock?
I know. I'm sorry.
I get
Oh, no, don't apologize. Take your time.
Take your time.
Mindful
We'll
production.
be here. Mindful production.
It is
and we'll be here.
Probably also a little bit out of necessity.
Yeah.
But
very mindful.
we'll brand it how we like.
But it's because we manufacture in the garment district in New York. And we do small runs. We, again, have like all sorts of responsibility practices around that. Take our ethical manufacturing and sourcing very seriously.
Like how?
So every material we buy is like the top quality. Like it's organic, it's recycled. And if it's possible to get that level, we've got it. The only things that aren't organic and recycled are things where it is like physically impossible to find them like that, or we can't access them at the right quantities yet. Either way, that's deep manufacturing stuff. But yeah, I think it's just caring. And being also, our business model supports it because it means our products aren't cheap. They're not low cost to make. They're very expensive to make. So that's how our membership kind of works, where we, by folks paying forward their support and intent for us to exist and continue to develop the products we do to the standards we do, it means we can then offer in return this product discount that means they can access them at a price point that makes sense. So that's kind of like the whole ethos behind our membership, to make it like a cooperative or cooperative inspired, where that continuous support that we can count on with recurring revenue means that we can continue to, without baking it into the price. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, let's talk about the membership because it's very cool. It is not called a subscription, which feels very intentional. The concept of this is not cheap to make. It's an investment in yourself if you're buying it. It's a much needed investment. But then also you're like now a member. It's a two-way street. You're like supporting the business that's making sure that you can get this. How did you design the membership? How did you come up with it? You talk to so many people in the community. I mean, part of the membership is quite literally being able to input into the product, at least one of them, AF+.
Correct.
And so how did you design it? What were your goals in designing it? What kind of feedback do you get from people about it?
So maybe I'll like go to the start for them and tell you like the origin story. So Kylo was working at an incubator called Prehype, which is a really amazing collective. And they have really specific philosophy and methodology around how you approach startups and like creation, I guess. And the whole idea is that you get obsessed with a problem you have as someone with founder market fit who understands and resonates with, therefore, what a whole section of society will also resonate with. And at the time, Kylo's struggle as a trans guy was being an actor on set, wanting a flat chest, having gender dysphoria, but not being able to bind safely or in a way that allowed him to breathe. So the compromise was constantly feel affirmed, feel myself, or be able to breathe. And so it becomes like a bit of a, it's
a life or death situation.
It's a life or death situation, and it's, you know, dramatically affecting his quality of life and his ability to thrive. So he was doing all this, you know, mining for ideas, thinking about problems in the world that needed solving, but it was almost like the thing that was right underneath his nose. But I think there's this misconception maybe that the pink dollar is not strong or worthy or worth serving. And so I think even in ourselves, there was a thing of like, oh no, this is a real issue. This is a business opportunity, and this is something that someone needs to go and do. And there's already been forerunner businesses that have done incredible things to serve the community and have paved the way. But I think what a pattern we've seen a lot in queer business and commerce is this: they close, they shut.
Yeah.
The lack of sustainability in the business models, the fact that there's like a sort of feels like a harvest cycle to it, where they come and then they go, and that's almost, in my mind, it's very sad. And it feels demoralizing. So I think for us, building a sustainable business model so that there's longevity and so that we can compound the impact and learnings and development efforts we make is incredibly important. So that's another reason for our membership program, because it gives us a way to build a business model that will be around for the long haul. The stepping stones are, so what first? There's so many things that need solving and serving and creating, especially with the help of funding. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? To be able to invest into product development of a binder that has patented technology, that's safe, that's incredibly effective, and also made with really high quality fabrics. Like, it's the dream, but it's also expensive. So going back to Kylo's story, he then thought that according to the kind of methodology, it was like, well, whatever your biggest problem is, look at that, because there's no such thing as niche. Like, if there's you, there's thousands. So he did. And in his mind, this wasn't what he was like pursuing as his entrepreneurial pursuit. This was just an exploration or a side thing that he'd do. But of course, one thing led to another. He starts designing it. He starts putting out some ads and seeing if there's other folks around. Of course, the feedback and the uptake is insane. And it kind of snowballs from there and gets some serious momentum. Fast forward 3 years, and we've got a line of styles, and we're now obviously expanding outside of binders. We have our underwear line, and there's more coming. So it's very exciting.
Okay, so For Them launched in 2021 with the binder.
Yes.
And then pseudo fast follow was like the binder Max that has expandable features and helps with chest compression, but safely. And then you launched into underwear after that. And so, how did that journey of product launches and ideation come into play, as well as like customer input helping to inform those?
So the guiding ethos behind our roadmap and what we do and where we allocate resources is that we do it together with our member community and our people.
What does that look like?
Well, it literally looks
what
like...
are the channels?
Yeah. I mean, it's going to sound dumb, but getting on the phone. Like Kylo literally texted and called the first, I want to say, 1,000 customers. Like, he has had direct contact with...
He is like...
everyone.
That is outreach.
Yeah. And SMS, like, hey, babe, what's up? Yeah. It was pretty casual.
You up?
Yeah.
That is so
Not that. You get sued for that. But it was like super intimate, because, of course, the journey of buying this and maybe it's the first binder. Like, these are seriously important moments.
Are intimate.
They are. And they're journey stuff. So I think there's something special as well. And for him, it was important to be speaking to everyone every step of the way to make sure that we were building for everyone's needs in the right way.
Yeah.
So that was initially it was text and calls. And nowadays it's more of like open calls for video calls. And we'll set up Zooms and just chat to people. And we do questionnaires.
Yeah.
We do polls all the time. And we literally, we have a member email that goes out every week, and people reply, and that's the point. Like, it's literally like, reply all, let's go, what do you want?
And that's so interesting, because even though this binder is innovative, there have been other ones in the market, but people have been solving for this, a lot of them before, whether it's wrapping or doing like, you know, medical tape and different things. Like, we've been hacking this for a while. So these consumers that you're talking to, it might be their first binder for them, but it's not their first time trying to figure this out themselves.
Exactly. And I think there's like some amazing people have done amazing things already to like pave the way and to begin this whole journey that we're on of like building a repertoire of products for everyone to choose from. I'm very woo-woo when it comes to like competitors in inverted commas.
Oh my gosh, you read my mind.
Yeah, I think like everyone rises with, what's it called? All ships rise with a rising tide or whatever it is.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what I
Whatever.
mean.
I know
That
what you mean.
I'm
Somebody wrote it.
literally the worst with idiomatic phrases. I'll just like
Same.
fucking
Or
butcher
like
them.
they're randomly like kind of savage.
Yeah.
Like kill two birds with one stone. Why? Why are you killing them?
Just don't.
They're just trying to tweet.
Why not? Yeah. Oh god.
It's
I say that phrase all the time.
I hear myself saying it. I'm like, we're not gonna do that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It needs to be delisted, really, that one.
Feed two birds with.
One hand. I'm obsessed.
One hand.
Wow.
Whoa, you too. That was
That was a
That's
collab.
it. Yeah.
That was romantic. But I love that you mentioned competitors because you're right. All these people paved the way. You are also paving the way for people who will come after, come during. And so much of what we think about as of marketers is like, how do we carve out our share of the market? And it's like, how do you think about that when you just want the community to be nourished and fed and have what they and fulfilled and have what they need? Like, does it matter where they get it from? How do you think about that?
Yeah. Interesting. I think in my mind, the more the better. Like right now, cishet needs. You go outside, you have a million choices, you get a million ads, and you choose what's best for you. Mm-hmm. I feel like, of course, queer people with queer needs deserve that too. Yeah. So the more choice, the better. The more people chipping away at this big mountain we have, which is to create equality in options and in service of needs, the better. So I'm psyched. Every time I see something new pop up, I'm like, opportunity for collaboration, opportunity to do cool stuff together. Every team, every founder, every micro mission is going to be bringing their own thing to the table, right? Everyone's in their own way, nuancedly different. So it doesn't infringe or like threaten me or our team, I don't think. And I understand that there's sometimes like a default setting in underrepresented and marginalized communities and identities because there's so much need to fight all the time anyway, just to keep existing and making space. But I think it's really important that as a community of queer creators and entrepreneurs, we find a way to like really put that aside when it comes to business building in this space and realize there is enough cake for everyone. Yeah. And truly, I think collaboration is what I'm always looking for whenever I see or hear of anything new in the queer space.
Community over competition or collaboration over competition.
Okay. And then to push on this a little bit, simultaneously, you have patents for your products.
Yes.
So you're also protecting your IP. And so there is friction there and maybe or an acknowledgement of the reality of the business. So let's talk about your patents a little bit.
Yeah. So I think, again, this probably plays into the sustainable business part. I think there's constantly a balance to be struck, which is, I guess, an existential crisis for all of us on the team at all times, which is like, how do we be a profit-making business in this capitalist world we live in? Mm-hmm. And how do we also hold all of our values, all of our desires and ideals? And I think, I don't know where a patent sits in that. Mm-hmm. I'm not the patent guy, but I'll say that it's to protect ourselves when it comes to manufacturing abroad specifically. And I think when you're dealing with something that has the potential to be dangerous, there's also a responsibility and ethics thing around making sure that high compression technology and things that can cause rib damage don't get into the wrong hands and aren't sold in the wrong places without the right guardrails to ensure people are wearing them safely.
Oh, wait, let's go into that. What do you mean? What's an example?
So the binders are incredibly effective, but they must be worn in the right size and with the right instructions to make sure that they don't cause damage. And obviously there's sort of horror stories ablaze around binding when it's not done safely. And that's our key value proposition for our binder range, is that they are the maximum healthy, safe bind available on the market. So that means that our binder max is a maximum wear of 4 hours and our binder all day is an all day wear. So that's the difference between the two. Mm-hmm. If you start having open source technology around patents, I guess would be the alternative to having a patent would be to have open source patent. First of all, it would probably undermine our business sustainability and our ability to keep going. Yep. But also, I think they must be manufactured in a certain way to be safe. And they must
The binder max could be replicated, sold through a company, and people are wearing it all day, which is unsafe.
Yes.
Getting into that, so if all you listeners out there haven't been onto forthem.com, head on over to the FAQ page, because when people are on your product, you have a lot on the PDP, the product page itself, about how to wear, what safety looks like. But then your FAQ page isn't just like shippings and returns. It's like, here's a video to get your correct apex measurement and wear our product safely. And I was fascinated by the level of detail and support there for the
they
customer.
Even have the size guide too, right? Like,
yeah.
I think I was filling in information and then I got my size in return. I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, right. And you're like, don't have a measuring thing? Like, hit us up.
Yeah.
We just take very seriously how intimate the process is. So at any time, you can speak to a gorgeous, real life queer human who will reply to you and
Only
help
the best.
you.
Yeah.
And make
I
sure.
feel like I really need help.
In life.
SOS.
Yeah. And I think that the sizing was very intentional. You'll notice that there's 11 sizes, none of which speak to generic life sizing.
No.
Because we just wanted to make sure we weren't contributing to any kind of toxicity that often can come from size ranges. And we're very body positive and fat proud. And so our whole ethos and we've just reinvented everything, really.
You did, because the sizes have names.
Yeah. They're gorgeous words.
Gorgeous. Is there one that's like amethyst, or did I make that up?
Yes. Great memory.
Tell us about some of the
I was
names.
living on this website.
Yeah. Amethyst. Gemini.
Gemini.
Jasmine. Kindred. Balance. Dawn.
Oh, and we love talking about trade-offs within your vision and values. And you stopped producing a colorway.
Mm-hmm.
Can you share this with the audience?
Yes. So we source our fabric from Italy. It's an amazing recycled fabric.
Does it have a name?
Yes, but I'm not telling you.
Oh my gosh.
She does gatekeep. She does.
I love this, honestly.
I don't. Maybe it's fine, but
No,
I
it's fine.
can't
It's
take
fine.
that
Stick
risk
to
in
your
case
boundary.
Kylo Freeman comes and tells me off.
Kylo, yeah, we don't want to get in trouble.
Don't want to get in trouble with the big boss. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's made from recycled polyester, which is dope, and it's very effective, and we love it. But because of it's made from recycled goods, the supply is constrained, and we have to flex to what's available, and we won't compromise on the constitution of the fabric. So sometimes we have one color, and sometimes we don't. That's how it goes.
Oh wait, I was referring to. I thought I saw that you had a beige color, and then you
the
said
skin.
you were no longer producing it.
That one, yeah.
Yes.
So again, because of color constraints, the only skin nodding to color there was beige. Now, we never positioned it as skin. Obviously, we have a black trans founder. We're a very diverse team, but it was being perceived as skin, and that was problematic for us. So we culled it. And then, again, I probably shouldn't tease this too much, but we knew that when we launched skin, we'd come at it properly and we would have a full range that would be representative and wonderful.
Yes.
And
some might say watch this space.
yes, it's very close.
I'm so excited.
I know, the campaign's going to be lit. Get excited.
Amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Let's talk about your baby.
So we made the binders.
Yep.
Dope. And then we started talking to people about what if they were to just speak to what is a problem in their life, what they wanted, what they wished existed. We got a bunch of answers, and one of the things that was a clear theme in lots of the conversations we were having was everyday affirmation, basics that spoke to their identity more. I think a lot of people spoke to the idea of hacking their life a little bit, finding cishet things, queering them, making them work. And I think that's
that does not just apply to what we put on.
No, exactly. It's a part of queerness, right? This idea of patchwork, creating your own existence, your own ways of feeling reflected in your life. But there's also something very cool about the idea of not needing to do that and just getting a thing handed to you that's for you, made by people like you with your perspectives in mind. And that's hot. So that was the next idea. We were like, okay, it's underwear, but it's elevated essentials. It's new basics. It's step one in your routine that's going to make you feel yourself. So we started to develop the range, and I guess one of my intentions as someone who I present around center, I feel like some days I'm can lean full fucking bimbo and I'm like hyper femme, all the way to other days where I feel much more mask and I want a dyke code, you know what I mean? So we were like, how do we do this? How do we take a basic and give people flexibility and range in their presentation? And the pouchless jock strap was my most excited thing on the whole list, because I feel like it really says something, doesn't it? It's iconic. We've all seen jocks in queer imagery, but quite often it's not lesbian coded. So I think to find a way to give that opportunity with different anatomy, like that's kind of in the essence of what we do. Like,
it's
how
fantastic.
can we just decenter bodies and identities and create fluid, gorgeous items that can be worn by anybody, literally
range.
Anybody. Yeah.
You have, like, For Them also has a media arm, Autostraddle.
Yes.
You might have heard of it.
Yeah.
Hello. Why? Like, I mean, we've been talking to you for minutes now, so like I can probably guess the answer to this question, but I want to hear you say it, Em. Like, why is it?
She's gonna make you say it.
I'm going to
Say it.
Make you say it.
Why is it mission critical to be both a brand that offers products and a brand that offers media? Was that always the plan, or did we come into it somehow, grow into it?
So it was not always the plan. Again, along with the like business building.
You're right. You've literally talked to us about how we started with the need.
Exactly.
Yes.
Start with the need and then follow your steps, basically, and listen to your customer. That's the most important thing of everything. Like, customer will tell you, so listen and ask. Autostraddle obviously is an iconic legacy brand, been around for 14 years. Reese is an amazing human, a very, very talented writer, and someone who has done community service to the literal nth degree. If we think about how many baby gays, struggling gays, happy gays, all the gays have gone to autostraddle.com and learnt about amazing content that can affirm and entertain, have gone to learn how to scissor, have done everything that there's possibly you could ever want to know. There's an Autostraddle article about it. So there's different ways of affirming identity, of course. And I think content, media and entertainment is like soul food, brain food. To go somewhere where you can read a like-minded perspective, to have your sense of self, your ideology, your everything affirmed, and to feel togetherness and community is magic, and it's essential. It's literally like a human right or something. So especially for folks who are not in physical community or not safe to be out of the closet, or are maybe just not physically around much community or queer community, I think it's an absolute lifeline and it's essential. So that's like one way, the dissemination of ideas, developing the discourse, us like moving together and also archiving our journey as a community and as people. I think it's just so important. And so the products, I think they serve a role in people's lives. There's obviously a more obvious utility value to them, but together you couple that with media and you have this like amazing, it feels like it's building momentum now that we are one, where they speak to each other and they serve each other, and together we get way closer to what the right next move is. And with the membership, of course, like it's like a full service approach to like having a bit of queer magic in your life each day, right? Like you have, yes, products and buying stuff now and again when you need it, but also this incredible content and being pointed in the right direction around where and what is available to you right now. I think it's something that's very valuable to a lot of people.
It, I think, flips the switch
100%.
on what it means to be a lifestyle brand. You know, people are like, oh, we have hats and shirts. Oh, and candles. So we're in home. So we are your lifestyle.
Self-care.
And it's like, actually, this is your lifestyle brand.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's actually 360, maybe even more.
580.
Yeah.
1080.
Higher.
More.
Thank you.
Thank you, Em. This was
Thank you,
honestly
Em.
lovely.
See you offline.
See you offline in our jock straps.
Hey everybody, Lola here. Thanks for listening. Style as Identity is part of the Majority Group, which is focused on spotlighting and supporting the brands that make us feel seen. In addition to this podcast, we offer business and strategy advice to brands, have an investment arm, and more. Basically, we want to see you win and do what we can to make it happen. For more info on us, head to themajoritygroup.com. Love ya.